going on, you guys? My name is Rage and we are back today with another Dark Dimension 3 video guide and playthrough. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the last node to the Cosmic Wave here. So you bet we're going to bring in our roster here. I'll show you guys who I utilize as well as then the gameplay. You can see here I'm bringing on Ebony Maw here, T4s and most of his abilities, but he's going to be brought on board for his defensive capabilities in addition to healing, providing support for our overall roster here. Next, providing Ebony Maw with energy just due to him being the Black Order counterpart as well as being cosmic. You bet it's going to be Thanos, soaking up damage, applying his offense down, really protecting our team. Last but not least, also as well, providing energy for any cosmic characters that are adjacent to Thanos. Next, we got Hela here, spreading negative conditions. You know, Hela is great because she provides excellent support damage. She can spread negative conditions, really giving us that advantage in battle. And last but not least, we can't forget about Greg, who soaks up damage for our roster, really improving our overall survivability. Next, synergizing with both Ebony Maw as well as our Thanos, it's going to be Proxima Midnight, utilizing her offense down. She's got a really handy stun to really kind of buy us time when we need to build energy. So hand in hand, she's really going to be able to provide additional damage and support for our roster, leaving us with now, last but not least, Minerva here with her regenerative capabilities. She's going to be that extra cushion we need, right, in terms of being able to revive our characters. She's got an amazing heal that scales extremely well in Dark Dimension due to the size of the health pools of the enemies we're facing. So with that being said, now let's dive right into the gameplay for the last node in Cosmic. Now, consistent with my previous videos as well, I do recommend you guys checking out Dutch Rudder's guide, because this is essentially his guide, is what I use to navigate in terms of waves, especially in terms of when we can predict how many guys are going to pop up in the next wave, who we can take down essentially in each cycle. So definitely check it out if you guys need a reference in terms of just kind of navigating that. With that being said, it's extremely important at the very beginning, you guys. You can see here that I actually use my Proxima Midnight to stun Ant-Man. Reason being is because Ant-Man actually has that ability block, and I'm doing that in order to really set myself up for success in the beginning here. This node isn't, in my opinion, it's not the hardest node in Dark Dimension 3, but it's extremely important to control the waves that we're up against. We can, in this wave, only take down 3 characters before the next wave, so it's extremely important to kind of use, that's why I love Dutch Rudder's guide, because he actually tells us exactly who we should be aiming for in terms of who we should be focusing, right? With that being said, in this initial wave, I do actually try to focus down Vulture first, just because Vulture takes away our speed, and taking away a character that at least prevents us from having more turns is really key. Another key character highlighted in Dutch Rudder's guide is also as well Strife, just due to his offensive output, the fact he can taunt. It's really important to take at least one of the Strifes down so that going forward in these waves, it won't be as much as a nuisance. So you'll see here that here I am just finishing off Vulture as the first target here. And once again, just remind you guys, we can take down 3 enemies before the next wave spawns, so that's why it's really important to keep track. So that's 1 down now. We can officially take down 2 more. As mentioned previously, ideally it is a good idea to at least take 1 out of the 2 Strifes here in this wave, just so that going forward he won't be that much of a nuisance. Another one I do recommend is either Human Torch, or excuse me, Pyro or Namor, just due to the fact that those 2 do have high damage, and with them being built higher as well, it's very mindful to be able to take them down, just due to the fact that they can do more damage with their ultimates as well. And additionally, what I found as well was really important was just making sure, you know, you're utilizing Proxima Midnight or another stunner on your team, so that way you can ensure offense down is maintained. In addition to stunning when you believe that there's going to be a critical character attacking us, you know, such as Namor's ultimate, if we can stun him before he acts, you know, that's really key. Another key tip is just keeping track of Minerva's ultimate as well as Ebony Maw's ultimate, because they do so much damage and they can really help revitalize our roster. So you can see now with one of the other Strifes down here, this leaves now 34 out of 36 enemies here. Ideally, I was actually going for the second Strife just to take him down, but however, you're going to see that just due to Proxima Midnight's retaliation there, she actually does finish off Pyro. That does spawn the next wave here, being Cable, Scarlet Witch, Namor, as well as Deadpool here. And as my game plan was originally going to always be focused on taking down the Strife anyways, unfortunately that took out another enemy. You're going to find that especially when you Hela and Minerva as well as Ebony Maw having all these AoE attacks, sometimes it can be quite difficult to actually time who you want to take down. But you can just see me resuming trying to take down the second strife, because like I said, the sooner you take him down, the better. The next wave also spawns at 29 out of 36 enemies left, so that means we can actually, out of this cluster, take out 2 more. And you can see that there's a lot of enemies weakened here right now, but the one I do actually recommend at least taking down, or at least bringing her lower, is Scarlet Witch, just due to the fact that she can heal, and we just don't want any heals lingering throughout the waves, especially with us having to take down still another 30 enemies before the node is complete. With that being said, I did see that Namor here was quite weak, and like I said before, his combat power is higher than the other characters, so taking him down was actually really good. That leaves 30 out of 36, which means 1 out of these guys need to go down. And again, I do resume my attack actually on Scarlet Witch, because with her regenerative abilities, we just don't want her staying around too long, with her being able to kind of heal up her allies. With that being said, we take down actually Scarlet Witch here in this last wave here, and you're going to see that right away after she goes down, it is actually going to spawn the next wave here. Fortunately, it's nice taking down characters like Ant-Man as well as Scarlet Witch, because of the fact of them being hero controllers. They give us that extra vulnerability and barrier due to the fact that we have everything on our team. So you can see in this next wave, it's going to consist of Doctor Strange, another Pyro, Sabretooth, a Wasp, and an Ant-Man. And consistent with the other ones, we are going to be able to take down at least 4 enemies from this wave before the next wave spawns at 25. So again, kind of have figuratively in mind who you do want to take down. We know one of them is going to be Doctor Strange, just due to the fact that he has a revive. Personally, I recommend high damage targets as well, but at this point, it's going to be dependent on how your guys' enemies is going to look by the time you get to this 3rd wave. For me personally, as I saw, Wasp was weaker. I do try it and just finish her off, which I do there. And you can see that our Sabretooth is pretty weak here as well, so that's another one that we could just finish off. But keep in mind, the main priority for this one is going to be Doctor Strange, because again, we just don't want him using his revivability. And another thing you will find is if you guys are using Hela, you're going to see that once she finishes attacking, she does actually target usually the lowest enemy. So you can see her attack there, finishing off Sabretooth, and that does the job there. 27 out of 36 enemies left, meaning we can take down 2 more before the next wave spawns. One of them has to be Doctor Strange, and then like I said before, I do recommend either Pyro or Namor, just due to the fact that they are built stronger and they have more DPS as well. And what I love the most is having Approximate Midnight's ultimate, because it does actually help us have that stun. That takes down Doctor Strange there. There we go. And then we do try to go for either Pyro or Namor. Sometimes Hela's just going to take them out regardless, so that's quite alright. But you can see here, if you guys can survive all these hits right now in this wave, it is not a bad idea to actually build up energy in preparation for the next wave if you can shoulder the damage there. We finish off Namor, and as you can see, right away the next wave does spawn. It brings about another Cable, a Deadpool, as well as Strife. Consistent with the previous wave, we can actually take down 4 enemies, which then leaves the next spawn. So you can see we just do some AoE bursts that finishes off the Pyro, which is great for us because, like I said, Namor and Pyro are really good to take down, especially with them having higher damage in these clusters. This Cable is weak as well, so it doesn't hurt to take him down. Again, we can take down 3 more enemies before the next wave, so why the heck not? The priority target I do recommend, consistent with Dutch Rudder's guide, is going to be Strife. Just once again, we just don't want the Strifes building up with their energy, especially when there's other Strifes around, right? So that was the key here. Just going ahead here, once again, Hela. Unfortunately, if it does finish off another target, I didn't intend to, but that's just how it is with Hela, unfortunately. And then with that being said here, I was still trying to attack Strife, but unfortunately, you can see that I, just due to the retaliation and taunt counterattack from Thanos, it does actually finish off another one there. So that means that does spawn the next wave, being Ant-Man, Cable, Namor, a Vulture, and Sabretooth. And keep in mind, we were supposed to finish off Strife in the previous wave, so we do have a couple of big clusters right now, but the big 2 that we do have to finish off, consistent with the previous waves we've seen, is going to be the Vulture as well as the Strife, just to get them out of the way, so that way going forward they're not going to be able to kind of damage our speed, our turn meter, as well as the Strife having his energy. So really the key in these points is when you get massive clusters like this, it's really just taking advantage of the chaos, spreading as much negatives as you can with Hela, really making sure we have the advantage overall, but still consistent, making sure that we still have our priority targets in mind, right? Being Strife, being Vulture, you know, those two have to go down before we take down other characters just due to their abilities. So here we finally go ahead and actually finish off Strife. And again, the next one is going to be aiming for Vulture, just because Vulture does impact our speed. And also keep in mind, we do see a Namor there as well, so the Namor does do quite a bit of damage, as well as the cables. And as you can see how much distraught and damage that Hela actually does by seeing all those negatives being shred. That is definitely why I highly recommend Hela for Cosmic, if you guys can get advantage of her. She is quite expensive, but you know, well worth it, especially with her being able to have the Gregs to soak up damage for us. So there you guys have it there. Vulture is down now, and now we are a little bit at peace here. You know, we have an advantage in terms of actually taking down our priority targets. The next wave spawns at 16 out of 36 enemies, so that means we can take down officially 2 more. And really, it's up to you guys at this point. Personally, I do recommend, if it's any high damage such as Cable or as well as Namor, I do think that you'll be better off in the long run if you take them down. So moving forward here for you guys, I do opt to take down one of the cables, and you can see here, thanks to our abilities here, we're able to finish off as well Namor here, just him having a high combat power. It's great for our survivability to take him away. Plus, he has that ultimate that's unblockable. So at 16 out of 36 enemies left, you are going to see in this wave, we're going to get 2 more wasps that spawn, as well as a Strife, a Scarlet Witch, and as well a Deadpool. So you can already kind of guess where we're going with this. Consistent with our previous waves, the 2 priority targets, and consistent with Death Shredder's guide, it is going to be Strife as well as Scarlet Witch, just due to their abilities and regeneration. And again, if you have multiple Strifes building up, that's really where they get their synergy. Fortunately, we've been able to take down every one of them along the way here. And although it can be hard to manage sometimes, there's opportunities where we just have the opportunity to actually use Ebony Maw's ultimate here, and you can see that he can take down more than one enemy, which is really beautiful. You can see now we're down to 14 out of 36, but just keep in mind you're keeping an eye on the enemies remaining, because they always do spawn. There is another one that spawns actually at 13 enemies, so we can actually only take down 1 more. And with that being said here, you know that I mentioned earlier, Scarlet Witch has to be one of them, as well as Strife, because we just don't want them building up. So moving ahead here, we do actually go ahead then and accidentally finish off actually Cable. It was not part of the game plan. Just like I said, sometimes you can have a goal in mind, but you know, just due to the fact that our characters can sometimes attack randomly, especially with Thanos being able to counterattack, it's not ideal. But this next wave does spawn, and this is pretty much the last hard cluster of the wave and node, because of the fact that you can see here that another Doctor Strange joins the battle with a Cable as well as a Namor. And this is really where it gets ugly, right? So really, I think the big thing is just finishing off the targets that are already weakened. So you can see the Sabretooth is weak. We wanted to take down the Scarlet Witch as well, but keep in mind Scarlet Witch has that synergy with Doctor Strange, and fortunately, because there are 10 characters on the board, you know, you can play that to your advantage, because Doctor Strange technically then can't revive if the board's already full. So you can definitely use that to your advantage if you guys just were scared of him reviving, but obviously if there's no room, he can't be able to do that. I mean, with that being said, I just continue with the game plan I was originally going to follow, right? Just finishing off Scarlet Witch there finally. You can see that the counterattack there actually just finished off another character as well. So we're at 11 out of 36 enemies left. But that means also now the board is open for Doctor Strange to revive. So that is why I actually start immediately attacking him. Keep in mind too, if you guys have weaker characters like the Sabretooth that you see left of Doctor Strange, you know, feel free to clean up the board as well, right? Because at this point, the last wave spawns at 10. And really at this point, you know, it's really just about managing the waves and really keeping these characters under bay. So another great opportunity here. You can see I'm using Hela's ultimate to spread as much disruption and negatives along the way, and that really does give us the advantage. The key to this node, unlike the previous nodes where maybe we got a little bit lucky in terms of attacking, is that we really do have to control the characters and enemies in this wave, because it's really about managing these guys, and you can have a really effective attempt, right? So with this last wave here spawning, you see that, you know, like I said, the Vulture, the Deadpool, the Cable, there's 10 characters officially, and because again, once again, the board is full, so now Doctor Strange can't even revive. So I think you guys will be wanting to take down Doctor Strange, but just how this node is designed, you may not even get a chance to actually take him down as soon as possible, just due to the fact that these waves are continually coming. But that also means the good news for us is that he likely won't have that ability to use revive, just because the board's always full. So I mean, at this point, when you get to the last 10, there's not really a strategy anymore. It's really just cleaning up all the characters that are weakened. And if you've gotten this far with a really good team, chances are you'll probably be okay in terms of following and making sure all the vultures and strifes were finished off along the way. Because it's really, if they build up along the next waves, that it can be amassing a lot of issues for players, and that's really where I've read up a lot of issues, right? So you can see here, I'm really just gonna focus in now and just try to take down as many of the enemies that are weakened as possible, on top of Vulture, just because once again Vulture has that speed impact, and with him being alive, he can also reduce the amount of turns we get. So then finally we are able to finally take down Vulture there, and really that's the assurance we need. That's 7 out of 36 enemies left here, as a result of me just using AoE damage and weakening them. But at this point, it's if you guys are here at this point now, it's pretty much good game, especially if you have Minerva still rocking, because if anything goes wrong, she has that revive that can help us out. You can see my Proxima Midnight did go down, but you know, we're gonna bring her back with Minerva regardless, so that's not gonna be an issue at all. And so there you guys have it. And keep in mind too, this being the last wave here, and being the last node in Cosmic, you won't as well, you won't need to worry about saving up your energy, because it is going to be the start of the next this next city nodes using the city characters. So feel free to use as much abilities as you want. So there you guys have it. That is the attempt right there. And yes, in case you were wondering, that was a one-shot attempt. I was surprised myself to actually be able to do it in one attempt, but it definitely, I would say, it was not an easy node here. I'll show you guys again just the replay here for the attempt tracker. It was not an easy node, but it was really about managing the waves that came, and this team really worked out for me. It's worked out for my previous characters and nodes, so I'm really happy. And again, you can see here my login days, 399 days. I did start Dark Dimension at 380, so 19 days elapsed, but as well, I'll keep going with this. Thank you as always for the support, you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.